Hi, candidates. So the last by-election Fort St. John had only saw 7% voter turnout, and only 1 in 5 voted in the 2018 general election. How do we improve engagement?
Thank you. We'll start with Jim Leclerc.
Right. So I understand you asked the question, how can we get the voter turnout better? Is that what your question was?
Yes, correct.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, in 2017, we had roughly 7.3 voters out of an eligibility of about 15,000. And, that worked out to a little over 1,000. And in 2018, we had about 14,000 eligible voters, and we had a turnout of about 20%. And just saying, the provincial average is 35.6. And a few years back, they actually did a survey, and it's a young group. We have the age group's about 31 years old. So we just have to keep the message out there that voting is very important in the civic election. In my opinion, it's more important than the provincial or the federal because it affects us more. It affects your day-to-day
Thank you,
quality of
Jim.
life. Yep, you're welcome.
Thank you. We're going to follow that with Thomas. We're going to be on a first name basis tonight, just so everybody's aware. No formality here. So next we're going to follow up with Thomas. Are you good with the question, Thomas? Do you need it repeated?
Absolutely. No, I am definitely good. It is definitely concerning. 7% in the last by-election is ridiculous. We need to get more people active in the community. One of the first things that I would like to do is, as a councillor, if I'm elected, would be to change the sign bylaws. They're leave a little bit to gray area. I'd like to see a set rules that line up with federal and provincial guidelines that say where you can and cannot put signs, get people pumped up, get people excited. I'd also like to see more people on social media promoting it, all of that kind of stuff, get people more engaged. I would also throw it out there that the city does a very, very good job, and they really do make sure that they get the message out as much as possible. But having more excitement with the candidates, I think, is the most important part. We're going to bring the people out.
Thank you, Thomas. Jonathan, your turn.
All right. So when it comes to voting engagement, I agree with Tom. 7% is kind of ridiculous. I mean, these are the things that we use every day, and it seems less and less people over the years seem to care about getting engaged, and that's a problem. So we have to start working with youth right in school, right from middle school all the way up into high school, college, you name it. We have to start really getting the message out how important it is to vote, because it is our one democratic right that we need to ensure that we use. Also, I mean, I've seen other countries do this, but I would love to see Canada, BC, and municipal elections all have mandatory voting. I think that would make sure that everyone comes out and votes, because if we're not voting, we're wasting our ability to have our voices heard.
Thank you, Jonathan. Sarah, you're next.
Thank you. So I'd love to see more people engage in the voting and municipal election process. I think we need to do this by targeting different media and messaging to all of the voters in the community. So social media is great, radio, television, signs out there, and also getting out and speaking to as many people as we can in the local community. I also agree with starting early in schools and outlining the importance of the democratic process, as well as the importance of municipal elections, because the municipality does show the day-to-day life in Fort St. John and affects everybody very personally. I would also like to see us talking more about democracy, at non-election times. This doesn't just have to be the month before an election. It can be in the 4 years between elections as well. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you, Sarah. And Trystan, are you okay with the question still?
Yeah, of course.
Thank
So
you.
to increase political participation, there's a couple of things we can do. When it comes to getting people out to vote, I think the easiest way that we can do this is to provide better access to the vote. Early voting periods. We have 2 for this election. I don't think that's enough. Better access to mail-in ballots. It's something that we have done for this election due to coronavirus. Perhaps instituting that into being a regular thing that is more publicized could be something that we can do. Our community is made up of workers that often work very long hours before coming into town, and sometimes they don't have the opportunity to get out and vote. Providing more access for voting is, I think, one of the most key ways to increasing turnout.